My name is Joe. These are just opinions. I am Joepinionated. Today's episode, ranking the albums from Canadian band, The Band. Four members, Canadian: Robbie Robertson, Rick Danko, Garth Hudson, and Richard Manuel. American member, Levon Helm. Got their start with Ronnie Hawkins putting together the band. Ronnie Hawkins, and they were known as the Hawks. And then they were Levon and the Hawks. And then they were backing band for Bob Dylan and wrote a bunch of songs with Bob Dylan. In the Basement at Big Pink, first album. Music from Big Pink came out in 1968. It's a five-piece band, and The Last Waltz was her last major concert, filmed by Martin Scorsese, documented with all those amazing artists. The remaining members, moved on without Robbie Robertson for a few more albums. Garth Hudson recently passed away. Mad love for the band. I'm just going to rank the albums. Here we go. We'll be ranking all 10 studio albums from the band. They have some official live releases, and I'm not including those: Rock of Ages, The Last Waltz soundtrack. Number 9, I'm going with 1973's Moondog Matinee. There's a bunch of cover songs on it, a bunch of tributes to stuff they came up on. A few members of the group were kind of struggling with addiction at this point. It's like the spaghetti incident for Guns N' Roses, in my opinion. Is Moondog Matinee for these guys, except I like Spaghetti Incident more. Number 8, High on the Hog. There's highlights to every album because they're also incredible musicians, and that one's obviously the least creative. Number 8, High on the Hog from 1996. This is just the three members now, right? You've got Garth with Levon and Rick Danko. Richard Manuel passed away in the 80s. Number 7 from 1998, Jubilation. So that's their last official album together, was Jubilation, 1998. Not a lot of it sticks with me, but I do really love watching their live shows anytime they toured in the 80s and the 90s. I think it's excellent. Really, really good. Number 6, we went with 1993's Jericho. Jericho featured the cover of Bruce Springsteen's Atlantic City, and it sounds so great with Levon singing it. The high point once they reunited was Jericho. I thought that was actually a really solid album. Number 6 from 1970, going with Islands. I believe this is a contractual obligation to put this one in, but it does have Christmas Must Be Tonight on it, which is one of my favorite Christmas songs ever. And I also love the version that Robbie Robertson put out in the soundtrack for Scrooge. So put this into the album video, Joe, later. Tied with Jericho, because I realized after I actually recorded this video, I went back and re-recorded that I missed Islands on the countdown, and that comes in at number 6. So there's actually 10 albums for the band. Sorry, guys. 10 albums that we'll be ranking here today. My bad. Number 5, this is where we get into legendary territory. Going with Cahoots. This album seemed like a little bit of a fall off, and it kind of was. The 3 before it are almost untouchable. So just seems like they didn't have quite as much material as they had. They had so much music ready to go from rehearsing and living together in Woodstock, New York, and hanging out with Bob Dylan and getting so much material for the first couple albums. And by the time they got to Cahoots, I just feel like they were starting to run out of material. Number 4, I'm going with Northern Lights Southern Cross from 1975. Killer album. The top 4, perfect start to finish, in my opinion. I think they're all just super solid albums. Ophelia on it, which is really great in The Last Waltz. Makes No Difference, which is one of the most heartbreaking songs about loss of a relationship or loss of somebody, and Rick Danko. I love watching Rick sing it later on, actually, when the late 90s before he passed away. There's a live tour that Levon and Rick did where it's just the two of them with mandolin and acoustic guitar. I think there's fiddle in it and harmonica. The living room tapes, I think they coined it on YouTube anyways. Look at those performances are incredible. I think it was in 1983. Number 3, I'm going with Stage Fright. A lot of people have this one below Northern Lights. I don't at all. I think this is a really solid album and almost as good as the first two. This is their third album, Stage Fright, 1970. Stage Fright, you got Time to Kill, The Shape I'm In. Just love Richard Manuel's singing and what he puts into this song live or the studio. Todd Rundgren, really warm. I love the way this album sounds. W.S. Walcott, Medicine Show. Stage Fright, and closes out with The Rumor. Can't go wrong with The Rumor. Oh, that's why I just made a video about 1970. Anyways, check out my top 25 songs from 1970 as well, and also in the playlist below, all my top band tracks. Number 2, I'm going with the self-titled from 1969, the band, the Brown album, with them all on the cover there, those beautiful portraits they took. The band, 1969, self-titled, the Brown album. We still have some collaborations with Bob Dylan, of course, but there's Across the Great Divide, Rag Mama Rag, I think was the first single, or was supposed to be the first single. The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, Up on Cripple Creek, Rocking Chair, King Harvest, Unfaithful Servant, Whispering Pines. I mean, this album is just solid start to finish. Amazing stuff. Americana, country rock, folk rock. Band, such a unique thing. And I mean, it's Canadiana. It's Canadiana. But I love Levon's twang. Night They Drove Old Dixie Down, The Civil War, monumental songwriting. So that only leaves one. That's their debut from 1968, music from Big Pink. And Bob Dylan did that cool cover art. Lots of collaborations with Bob Dylan on this one, of course. Tears of Rage, I'm pretty sure that's a collaboration. To Kingdom Come, In the Station, Caledonian Mission, The Wait, one of the greatest songs ever written. We Can Talk, Long Black Veil, one of my absolute favorites. That's, I believe, Lefty Frizzell wrote that track, but I believe, is that right? He performed it. Just one of my all-time favorite songs is Long Black Veil. That's up there with Honky Tonk Heroes, Amarillo Highway for me. Chest Fever, Lonesome Susie, This Wheel's on Fire, incredible. Also the title of Levon's amazing book. And it closes out with Bob Dylan's I Shall Be Released, or I think they co-wrote it. I think he wrote it in the basement anyways. That was the first song I ever remember hearing from the band. That was on The Wonder Years in a very funny episode. Music from Big Pink, number 1 from the band. That's it. That's the band albums ranked from me. I'm a Canadian. Very proud of these guys as national heroes, icons, some of the greatest Canadian musicians ever. Certainly some of my absolute favorites. And Levon Helm, who occupies a large space in my basement where he's framed up, and a bit of a tribute to the guy. Anyways, love the band. Remember to live and let live, be normal, check out the channel, buy me some coffee, do all that sort of stuff, and let me know who I should be covering next. Check out the other episodes on the band on this channel. Look into some other stuff I've posted out there. So I'm sorry I'm a little low on facts and high on opinions. Respect to one of the greatest bands ever, the band. Be out.